Good morning, everyone. I hope you started the day with gratefulness in your heart. We are on our first day of the third quarter, and that means we can look ahead to becoming a step closer to reaching our school year's end. Let us now start with our first English lesson by playing Guess the Gibberish. See this video of friends playing the game.
Here you go.
Super connect to my channel. Subscribe to my channel.
There we go.
As you've watched the video, I hope you got that you are to formulate a meaningful phrase which the gibberish stands for. You will be given 10 seconds to answer. Ready? Let's have the first one. The answer is you've got a text message. Let's have the next one. The next one is that is audio files. That's right. This is PowerPoint. How about this one? That is video presentation. The next one is and the answer to this one is photo and images. This is GIF and animation. You enjoy the game? All those words or phrases that we had in Guess the Gibberish are connected to our topic for today, which is using correct and appropriate multimedia resources. Welcome to the class. For today's agenda, we are going to talk about how to use correct and appropriate multimedia resources when orally giving information, instructions, making explanations, and narrating events in personal or factual recounts. Let us first define multimedia resources, or multimedia. Multimedia comes from the combination of two Latin words, multi and media. Multi means several or many, and media means in the middle. This definition of multimedia tells us that materials on the internet or in your class presentations involve several forms of communication. To connect, that is, to be in the middle of, the sender and receiver. Multimedia resources. Multimedia is a broad term for combining multiple media formats. Whenever text, audio, still images, animation, video, and interactivity are combined together, the result is multimedia. Slides, for example, are multimedia as they combine text and images, and sometimes video and other types. Multimedia presentation, on the other hand, is a presentation file which is not limited to just text in terms of content. For example, it would have interactive video, sound, links, images, animated GIFs, and transitions in it. Let us now try to understand the different types of multimedia. First, we have the text. Text is a primary way to transmit information, and it is also considered as the simplest and oldest resource means of sending written messages back and forth between communicators. Text can be used in writing instructions, making announcements, giving information, and narrating events, etc. Text is used to augment other forms of communication, such as a text description of a photograph, subtitles of audio and video, in slides, and many more. So, as you know, text is widely used, and you might not know it, but you actually use text in Facebooking whenever we upload pictures. We use captions to describe the pictures that we upload, and also we are encountering text when we watch K-dramas or movies that are equipped with subtitles. Let us now try to understand the PPT. PPT is short for PowerPoint, a presentation program developed by Microsoft is what PPT is. PowerPoint is often used to create business presentations, but it can also be used for educational or informal purposes. So one example of educational use of the PowerPoint is when we present to you the lessons through the use of TVs or the projectors, and instead of using Manila papers or cartulinas, we actually have the soft copies of our PowerPoints being presented through those gadgets. And also, it can be used for informal purposes, like when we have a video montage in weddings or events, and also sometimes uh, people use PowerPoint in presenting videos of their kids on birthdays or relatives. PowerPoint also are presentations comprised of slides, which may contain text, images, and other media, such as audio clips and movies. So I hope you are already familiar with the PowerPoint because you are very exposed to this type of media. Have you seen this movie? If you have watched The Croods, this movie actually features cavemen as the characters. And there was one scene where the father is drawing something to tell a story. And also, in this particular image, they were able to take their family portrait. Okay, so as early as this era that they live in, they are still considered cavemen. We already have photo and images. So photo and images are perhaps the oldest form of media. For you to be able to use photo and images in presenting information, you can take a photograph of your subject and present it as you orally give an information, instruction, explanation, or a narration. So, if you remember, your science teacher might have used a picture of an atom, and in this image that I used, the parts of the atom are specified. Okay, so your teacher might have shown you a model or a picture of the atom when she or he was explaining to you the function of the parts of the atom. And I also have here a picture of some of the situations or events that are related to the EDSA revolution. And then I have here a picture that shows 3 apples plus 1 apple is equal to 4. So a teacher may have used this to teach basic math. And then we have here a picture of Jose Rizal. So AP teachers might have used this to discuss about the life of our national hero. Let us now try to understand the audio file. From a musical background to a spoken explanation, audio files can be added to websites or presentations. So recorded information, instruction, explanation, and narration using smartphones can be played before the class, and that is considered as audio files. So right now, I am actually recording the explanation of this lesson, and I'm also giving you the instructions for the activities that you will have to go through in order for you to learn our lesson for today. And later on, I will be transforming this PowerPoint presentation to a video presentation, which I will present to you in the right time and in the right venue. Okay, so let's understanding the video presentation. Video presents moving pictures and typically combines images and sound for a compelling multimedia experience. Video presentations can include text as well, which often appears as captioning for spoken words or as text in an image, as in the case of a slide presentation. So, as you actually have the PowerPoint presentation in front of you, you will actually see a picture which has text, right? So it's a multimedia resource which is consists of a text in an image. But we are also used to seeing videos with captioning for the spoken words. Okay, meron tayong tinatawag sa YouTube na closed caption. Okay, you can see the symbol CC. Okay, which actually enables us to see a subtitle that is assigned for the video that we are watching. So in YouTube, there are a lot of videos that has closed captions. Okay, it's a video and also it is combined with texts as well. This is now the explanation for using GIFs and other animations. So these are examples of GIFs. Graphic image files, or GIF, and animations are best to use when you explain and/or narrate events that are just short. So if you are going to explain just, let's say, one terminology, you can use a GIF instead of a whole video. Okay? Here are simple questions that you should ask before using an appropriate media resource in a class presentation. The first question is, what is my task and my purpose? So you should identify the task and also the purpose of why you're doing it, because you need to set a goal for your activity. Number two, what media resource is applicable to use? So for us teachers, we ask this question when we are trying to identify what resource we are going to use in teaching or in presenting our lessons. So this is actually connected to our target audience. If the teacher is handling online sections, therefore she or he can use online materials like video presentations, uh, PowerPoint presentations, and also she can transform the PowerPoint presentations to JPEG files, which can be sent to the GCs and are also open for the access of the students in the online sections. Now, if the teacher also has to cater to the students in the modular sections who cannot access the internet and also cannot even see the images sent to the GCs, they have to resort to sending, or let's say having the class by sending plain text or chats in the GC. Okay, so you have to consider the target audience for you to choose the correct media resource. Number three, do I know how to apply such resource in my presentation? Of course, you should ask yourself if you are knowledgeable enough for you to be able to add up those resources that you want to use in your presentation, or maybe do you know how to download the files that you want to add? Number four, will I be understood if I use this particular resource, or I should choose another one? Okay, so of course you need to consider if you are able, and if you have some like expertise in grammar. If you want to use plain text, will you be able to send the real message that you uh, want your readers to receive? You be able to choose the correct images that will illustrate your message? So those are the things that you should consider under the fourth question. And for the last one, is this resource accessible during preparation and also during the presentation? And so you should ask yourself if you can really prepare it, because there are ways for you to access the media resources, and also will you be able to have the correct equipment and facilities for you to present that specific media resource that you chose for your class presentation. So those are the things that you should think about before you arrive to using the correct or the appropriate media resource. Do you have any questions? Ask and it shall be given to you. This is now the time for you to clarify if there is any confusion that you have. Okay, your teacher might give you the explanation so that the clouds will go away. Don't have any question, then let's move on to the next slide. So what? Why do we have to know this? Well, this largely connects to us discovering how we humans learn. First, we learn the most by action learning. 100% if we participate, 90% if we simulate or redo the activity, and then 70% if we teach or share the knowledge or skill that we gain from the activity or from the lesson. Now, we learn 50% at max through visual learning. That is, if we watch demonstration, that is 50%. When we watch moving pictures, that is 40%. And if we view pictures, that is 30%. Now, we learn the maximum of 20% if we immerse in verbal learning. That is 20% for hearing words and 10% for plain reading. That is why when people use multimedia resources, which means we use several formats at the same time, there is a bigger chance for retention to occur. When you watch a demonstration and then you hear the explanation from the teacher, and let's say if it is a video lesson, and you also read the captions provided with the video, you can actually add up the rate of learning. So that is 50% for watching the demonstration, 20% for hearing, and 10% for reading. And that equates to 80% of learning at max. So we all have to keep in mind that you students have a long way to go and you will have to present in front of people someday. So better start practicing now. That's why you are also at an advantage for those who are not talking about this as early as this year. You should consider yourself lucky. Let us now move on to the activity time. Let us try and learn. For our first activity, your teacher will be giving you a Google form link so you can accomplish this task. You will be choosing the multimedia resource or resources that is appropriate to be used in performing the given task. Then, write a very short reason for your choice. Use the questions to guide you when you give your reason. So, I will be giving to you or reading to you the tasks that you will be asked to present. Okay? And then, the choices for the multimedia resources that you can use are the 6 types. You can use plain text, you can use photo and images, you can use PowerPoint, you can use video presentation, um, you can use audio files, and also GIFs and animations. Or you can identify, let's say, what combinations of multimedia resource are you going to use. Let's say you are going to use a video presentation that has a combination of text, audio, and images. Okay? So let's have the first one. You're asked to narrate the events of the story Maria Makiling. Okay, number 2, Explain the difference between enhanced community quarantine and modified community quarantine. What are you going to use to explain that? Number 3, give simple instructions on how to properly recharge the battery of your mobile phone. Number 4, explain why sometimes the electricity is off. And number 5, narrate an experience of being praised or awarded by your teacher. You can also recall uh, the things or presentations that you have encountered which can be similarly applicable to this task that you have for activity 1. Okay, so for example, you have already been presented to by a story. Okay, your teacher has presented a story. What multimedia resource did she or he use? Okay, and then of course you are going to explain the reasons for your choices. Okay, so that is for activity 1. You will be given 5 minutes to finish this task. So the teacher will be the one to ask you to go back to the Google Meet once the 5 minutes is up. Look at this illustration. This is for activity 2. So for this activity, you are just going to study what is in the picture. So you have the title, How to Present Yourself in an Interview. And then you have 2 people here. And then you have text here. Okay, so let's read the questions that you are to answer in the Google form link that you will be sent with. Number 1, what is the image about? Number 2, what media resources are used in giving the information? So you're going to classify and identify the media resources used here in this image. And then number 3, do you think you can make the same giving of information, instructions, using a PowerPoint? If yes, how would you improve it? What would you add or insert to the slides? So in the Google form, you will be actually seeing 4 questions. Okay, this last question, what would you add or insert into the slides, will be given a separate area, okay, for the answers. So that is for activity 2. You will also be given 5 minutes and your teacher will be the one to monitor you finishing the activity. Okay, let us now proceed with the performance task. For performance task number 1, you are going to pretend that you are making your own vlog on how to present yourself in an interview. To prepare in making your video presentation, you will be writing a script and create your PowerPoint slides. So, your teacher will be sending to you a template through your class GC or group chat. So, this is what you will see in your template. So, you have an area wherein you can draw or attach an image for your slide 1. And then you have an area for the script that you will be reciting and explaining the first slide. And then this is the space for the image and the script for slide 2 and the image and the script for slide 3. Your work will be evaluated using the following rubrics. So here are the criterias and here are the points that you can get. So the first criterion is following instructions. You will get 1 to 3 points if there is no or little attempts to follow instructions. You will be given 4 to 8 points if there is an evident attempt to follow instructions, and 9 to 10 points if the instructions are followed strictly. For organization, you will be given 1 to 3 points if your work, the one that you submitted, needs some additional effort. 4 to 8 points if your work is organized in a reasonable format, and 9 to 10 points if your work is logical and easy to follow. Under creativity, you will be given 1 to 3 points if your work shows no creativity, 4 to 8 points if your work have shown enough creativity, and 9 to 10 points if your work displays all-out creativity. Okay, so I hope you target the 9 to 10 points while working on the performance task. Lastly, we have the reflection part of our lesson. So it is very important that you reflect on your own learning so that it can become deeper because you are aware that you have learned something today. And if you actually add up emotions to the ones that you learn through your brain, you can actually remember it more. So let's have the first sentence that you have to complete. I have significantly improved my understanding about blank. And then you can explain why or how you have improved your understanding. And then you have, I feel blank because I feel blank is an emotion. And why do you feel that way? You are to explain. That is all for our lesson for today. Thank you for joining the class. Goodbye.